It's showtime.
Hello and welcome to Musical Lyrical Lingo. We're your hosts, Tim
and LJ. Today and every week we will be discussing musicals, but specifically what they taught us.
We are back.
Back again.
Guess who's back?
Burger Girl.
Very good. How are we doing?
We're all great. How are you doing?
I am surviving.
I love that.
We're one more week closer to the Christmas holiday.
We are. It's so exciting.
And we've now planned our Christmas episodes, which is very exciting.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
Yeah, we could do way more as well, but we're going to limit it because we're hopefully going to be back for next Christmas.
We've decided we're not going to do a Christmas what we did at Halloween, which was use up all of the associated musicals for the holiday season.
Yeah,
because if we're still here next October, we're stuffed. No, there's one. I think there's one that we didn't do.
There's a few. I keep telling you this.
If there's theatre producers out there who wants to write some extra spooky, scary musicals, work away.
Speaking of that, I think that there's an episode in musicals that weren't musicals. So I've said that wrong. So I was watching Gilmore Girls this week, and there's a musical episode in that, but it's not a real musical. Aaron reminded me of Forgetting Sarah Marshall, where there's he's writing a vampire musical. Isn't that right, Aaron?
Correct.
Yeah. So I think we should do like an episode on musicals that were never a musical but would make a really good musical.
Okay, I'll need to watch all those episodes though, because I have watched neither of the two shows that you've just mentioned. Yeah, like I'm like, what? Yeah.
But yeah.
Very good.
So no, there might only be the two.
Okay, that'll get us through a podcast.
No, I'm pretty sure there'll be more.
Anyway, listen, thank you for continuing to listen.
Yes.
And we're hoping to be back in the new year, really, aren't we? So, do you know what? Help us out. Start sending your suggestions to us now. What musicals have we not done a podcast or an episode on yet? What musicals would you like to see next year? And we will try our best to appease you, our wonderful listeners.
Yeah.
And continue to like us, please, and share us amongst your friends, because we really do appreciate it. Thank you.
We're loving all the 5 stars. Thank you so much. Keep it coming.
You're endorsing me perfectly, listeners. Thank you. Keep it going. I'm also very excited.
What for?
Fabulous breaking news, hot off the press. I've just come down from my Guys and Dolls thrills.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm already back up there, and I know what my next musical trip has to be.
And I know what it is as well.
Do you? Are you really excited?
I'm really excited.
Oh my goodness. So it was announced last week that Hello Dolly is finally coming to the London Palladium. And it will be starring Imelda Staunton as Hello Dolly. We talked about this in a couple of episodes ago, didn't we?
Notice there that we spoke about that. We spoke about how great Addams Family was.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, all these amazing announcements came out, and I was like, "We are setting the trend."
It's like big shots are like listening to our podcast going, they mentioned hello. We should really get onto that production of Hello Dolly. Yeah. Imelda, are you free? Yeah. Any chance? Yeah. So it will run in the London Palladium from the 6th of July to the 14th of September next year. So it's
better start saving.
I know. I think I will probably have to start saving, because I think the tickets will be extortionate. But I will be on line the pre-sale day. I don't know if I want to tell the date in case other people get their tickets before me, but pre-sale goes out on Wednesday the 6th of December, and general on sale starts on Friday the 8th of December. You would think I've done my research here.
You would think, wouldn't you?
I am all over this production. Like, I cannot wait. She's going to be insane.
She will be I think, no, I'm not saying anything about it, but it's going to be wonderful.
Were you going to say you're not so sure?
No. I was going to say I think she's going to be better than our Gypsy. But
listen, it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, we don't want to be disappointed. Imelda, start practicing now. Imagine she listened. She'd be absolutely offended. We love you, Imelda. We love you.
No, we just mean, that was such a wonderful performance.
Like Imelda Staunton's listening to our podcast.
You never know.
I think I'd cry if she was. Yeah, so I'm very excited by that.
Yeah, I know. There has been loads of announcements. Here, I'm actually really excited because 2024 seems like there's going to be a load of new musicals, like 13 going on 30. Aaron, did you know that was being turned into a musical?
I did not know.
So, if we can't get you to London for Back to the Future, we might get you to London for 13 going on 30.
Tim's looking at us because he totally doesn't know.
On earth is 13 going on 30?
13 going on 30 is a movie that Aaron loves.
Not really true.
You watched it 3 times in one day, darling.
It was 4, and it's because I couldn't be bothered. I couldn't be bothered getting out of bed to change the DVD.
It's a good musical with Jennifer Gardner Jennifer Gardner and Mark...
Gardner or Gardner? Who's Jennifer Gardner?
Garner and Mark Ruffalo. Where she's 13 and she wishes to be 30.
Did you say Mark Ruffalo?
Ruffalo.
There's no such thing as a Gruffalo.
Anyway, it's being turned into a musical with the lovely... I'm just going to stop talking.
You did so well in the last episode with all your fancy names.
But now you are just taking the mick out of me and it's not funny.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't hear Gruffalo, to be fair. I did know it was Ruffalo.
Well, that's who's in the film, and in the musical is Lucy Jones and Jamie Moscato.
Oh, they've cast it.
Yeah.
2 of my favourites. Yeah. I love Lucy in Waitress and as Alphaba. And Jamie, he's amazing.
Oh, he's just finished Christian.
Moulin Rouge, yeah, I know. I'm raging I didn't get to see him in Moulin Rouge.
But yeah, so there's that. There's the Addams Family. There's Hello Dolly. There is... Oh, I've forgotten. I had a whole list. But there has been some really cool announcements.
It's looking like it's going to be a good year next year. Do you think it's now just... Although there were some good things that popped up in theatres this year as well. I was going to say, do you think it's now enough years after COVID that theatre and producers are just getting back into the swing of things? But I mean, this year wasn't, this year had great musicals as well, like Newsies and, and Mrs. Doubtfire came over from Broadway and stuff like that. So maybe that's unfair of me to
be honest,
suggest.
I think social media has just made more fans for musicals.
I think our podcast has made more fans for musicals. I'm joking.
I do. I honestly think people are really interested in the behind the scenes stuff and wanting, and there's more theatres are able to facilitate tours and things like that, which means there's new musicals are able to come into the West End or Broadway, and apparently there's meant to be Dear Evan Hansen tour.
It's overdue, because I saw Dear Evan Hansen. We still haven't done it. It's a musical we do need to do in the West End, a number of years ago, and there's been nothing since. Do you know what I mean? It's been out of London now for long enough. I presumed when it gave its closing notice in London, it would immediately go out on a UK tour. I have to see, and I hope Sam Tuddy goes with it again as Evan, because honestly, I've not seen a performance like his from somebody as
I think
young.
That's what they're hoping will be the announcement.
I hope, that will be amazing.
Mm-hmm. And he has started to post on social media again, so I am hoping.
He went very quiet for a while,
so
didn't
I'm hoping, because there is the rumours of that he will then be attached to it. But it's very exciting for musical theatre lovers out there. Yeah. Just like you and me. And
Aaron.
And Aaron.
Do you know that Aaron listens to our dulcet tones to put himself over to sleep at night? Now I think that's an insult.
Maybe. No, it's not.
You put me to sleep. Your voices put me to sleep. Aaron.
I'm not one listener that you have. It's me.
With more than one listener, excuse me.
You've seen our stats? Rude. Anyway, this is where this episode goes downhill.
It doesn't go downhill.
Because I was in such a good mood coming in.
Stop it.
And you were going to ruin all of that.
But I actually am really intrigued as to why you don't like this. So we are talking about Calamity Jane.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh, there's real dislike. I feel like you are how I feel about Oklahoma.
No, I think I feel stronger about Calamity than you feel about Oklahoma.
Well, that's interesting. Why?
Why? Why do I feel so... Will we get into it? Yeah. I think it's a funny one in that I don't really know why either. I just have a real... Like, I tried to work out what is it about this that I'm just not getting. Do you like it, Aaron? Are you a Calamity fan? God, I'm outnumbered.
I'm pretty sure. No, it's not one I really recall. I think my mum took me years ago to her old high school, was doing a production of it. And I'm pretty sure I got dragged along to that, kicking and screaming. But I only remember one song, which I'm pretty sure my mum butchered the lyrics to on the way home, about the Deadwood City.
Your mum listens to this podcast. She is not going to appreciate what you just said there.
I also meant to say my brother told me to say this.
Oh, okay.
You see, you've mentioned Deadwood City. Is Deadwood... That is what I describe this musical as, Deadwood.
That is terrible.
Anyway, give us the background.
Okay.
Because I certainly wasn't researching this show. Carry on.
Calamity Jane, a stage musical based on the real-life historical figure... But it's non-historical, not factual, and somewhat farcical.
And there, I rest my case.
Of Calamity Jane.
You're supposed to be on the side of Calamity for this podcast.
It is composed by Sammy Fain, lyrics by Paul Francis Webster. The book was by Ronald Hanmer and Phil Park. I got through that.
And do we know any of those people?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, because I was trying to work out, well, what else have they done?
Yeah.
I take it, have they done like film music? Some of them, I don't know.
I don't know, to be honest. I just took their names down.
That's the level of depth we go into.
The musical is based on the Doris Day 1953 film.
Yeah.
And the stage musical was first produced in 1961. 27th of May, to be precise, in Fort Worth, Texas. That's where it first. It never really took off in, the proper musical boards.
Yeah, it's very much a musical film.
Yes.
Not a musical stage show.
Yes. But there obviously is.
Yeah.
It's just very popular in the Amdram world. Which is lovely that it has a place. The Amdram world. There's nothing wrong with just living in the Amdram world.
Yeah.
Yeah, or tours. Small tours.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I don't think I've seen a professional production of it. It
didn't, and which surprised me as well. It's set in America. I'll go into the plot in a wee bit because I think that needs a wee bit more time.
Are you sure?
In the US it didn't really take off, as I've said, but in the UK it did. It was a bit more popular. Even though it's set in America, I think it's the idea that sort of like cowboys is an interest to people in the UK, and that's maybe why. But
it's a bit caricature-y too. Do you think the Americans maybe took offence to it? Or
maybe just didn't get it, or maybe didn't. I don't know.
Didn't see themselves in the characters.
Didn't. In the UK, Barbara Windsor headlined the world tour in 1979.
I didn't know that. Good old Babs.
And then in 1996, Gemma Craven, she is an Irish actress. She took on the role, and she's in another musical that I love, The Slipper and the Rose.
Never seen The Slipper and the Rose.
Take on Cinderella. It's great.
Right, okay.
We should cover that. And then in 2002 to 2003, our mate, Toya Wilcox.
Good old Toya.
Mm-hmm. And then 2014, it was the lovely Jodie, I can never say. Thank you. Yeah. Who we know from all of her fame. She won I Do Anything. It was only meant to be 6 months, but it had to be extended for 12 more. So because it was so popular.
And that is 100% down to her, I think, not the show. Like, she is a perfect Calamity, actually. Yeah, that character's made for her, isn't it?
I watched a few wee bits on YouTube about, the sort of the trailer of the tour. And I was like, yes, you are great. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the story and the plot, because I take it you don't want to.
Do you have to? I can do the story and the plot if you want. Okay. I don't want to feel that you're being left on your own this week.
I am going to admit, the story / the plot is a little bit odd. It's a little bit odd, okay?
It's a wee bit pants.
It is set in Deadwood City, South Dakota.
Deadwood.
Okay? Calamity and Wild Bill Hickok end up saving Henry Miller, who has been untruthful about the new female star, which has come in to entertain the local men of the town. Mm-hmm. He has promised them Francis Fryer, but Francis is a male, not a female. And the miners then get outraged. So Calamity decides that she will travel into the Windy City, which is Chicago, and bring back the boys' fantasy performer, which is Adelaide Adams. She only has a picture of Adelaide on this little cigarette card.
God, you know this inside out.
I do.
You're not even reading off your notes. You're just
I know.
Telling the story.
And though she doesn't quite bring back the right girl,
no,
she ends up bringing back the dresser / maid, Katie Brown. Katie then ends up confessing that she's not Adelaide, and the town go wild again. They're outraged. Then...
Are you bored yet, listeners?
Then Calamity
When did you hit the
them.
snooze button? Just out of interest, was it the first 5 minutes into the plot, or 10 minutes? Oh.
Then Calamity convinces them just to give her a chance, and they do. Meanwhile, Calamity actually is been in love with Lieutenant Danny Gilmartin, but he falls in love with Katie, but it's okay, because Calamity then ends up falling in love with Wild Bill. And that's it. I know. I will admit, it's a wee bit all over the place, but I love it.
Do you?
I really, really love it. How could you not? That plot makes so much sense. You're lost for words.
Yeah, I'm struggling to... I mean, I have the same feeling after your plot that I had when I've seen it. I come away going, huh? What? Yeah, it's just a wee bit topsy-turvy. I mean, let's be positive for a moment.
Okay.
Go me.
Yeah, go you. Be positive.
Brownie points for trying to redeem this musical. It did win an Academy Award for Best Original Song, Secret Love.
Beautiful song.
Yeah.
Doris Day is fabulous in it. I would... Oh, are you making that face?
I mean, fine. It's fine. It's fine. She's fine.
No,
she's good.
No. Have you seen it recently?
No. Think about what you just asked me.
I watched it last night.
You did not, did you?
I did.
The whole film?
Yeah.
Oh my! When did you hit the snooze button?
I didn't.
5 minutes in, or
I didn't.
No, okay.
I really didn't. It's great. She's really good. She's so. I don't know. She just plays that role really well, and her physicality is great.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Doris Day is very talented. Was very talented, but yeah.
I think the plot. There's a few holes in that plot. I mean, all of a sudden, she just falls like literally in the middle of talking. She just goes, "Oh, Bill, it was always you."
Yeah.
Was it? Because you never, ever looked at him other than distastefully.
Yeah.
But in real life, she does claim to have a kid with him.
Oh, no, they do get married in real life. Yeah, so they were real. people. Calamity Jane and Wild
Yeah,
Bill
well,
Hickok.
that was one of my musical lyrical lingos. I didn't realise that the Calamity Jane is based upon a real person. So Martha Jane, is it Canary?
Mm-hmm.
Who was an American frontier woman, sharpshooter and storyteller.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I wonder how she felt about Doris Day's depiction.
I'm sure she loved it.
She probably wouldn't have been around, to be honest. Let's be honest.
I think she thought that it was wonderful. It's one of the
Turning
best
in her grave,
musicals.
she was. Turning in her grave.
No. Okay, it's just... Do you know what? There's a lot of sentimental value to Calamity Jane, and I think that's where I have...
That is fair enough, because it is not a musical that I was introduced to as a kid or early in life. And the first time I experienced it was when I heard like random songs from it, and then thrust upon me in numerous productions. Okay.
Yeah.
And I just have never really clicked with it.
Okay.
It has, I mean, there's some high points and there's some desperately low points that you cannot crawl back from. But yeah, let's move on to your musical lyrical lingos, Lauren.
This is a bashing.
What did we learn? Well, first of all,
what?
How were you with the lyrics in this musical?
I know what you're getting at. You're so rude. So rude.
In the Deadwood stage, could you just get up the lyrics there, Aaron, for Deadwood stage?
I think you're so funny.
Because I can't quite remember the lyrics.
Your butt.
Are you going to challenge her?
No. So if you can just get the lyrics up there. A wee bit quicker than that would be great. So the first line goes, "Oh, the Deadwood stages are rolling all over the plains." Now, how did you cope? Did we get this plane? Were we on BA, EasyJet, other airlines are available? Thank you. I couldn't think of them. However, did we know this plane?
No, I didn't actually. I watched this movie so much whenever I was younger. I didn't even know that was the lyric until I was researching it, and I was like, "Oh, look, there's that word plane came up again." Are you
not regretting it? Like,
I know it is.
It was Oklahoma that we brought up the plane the first time round, and honestly, it's been in about 4 musicals since.
I know. I really should have learned, shouldn't I?
You really should have learned your lesson. Like, bless you.
Yeah, no, I never noticed that she sang about planes.
It's in the first line of the first song.
I know it's in the first, but I don't think I sang those lyrics correctly.
What did you sing? Just out of interest. Oh, the Deadwood stages of rolling all over the...
I always thought it was hills.
Hills, because that rhymes beautifully. That's okay. I just wanted to check how you got on with the planes.
I got on okay. I knew it wasn't flying in the sky, because obviously... that would be silly.
Because obviously the rain was completely flying in, like on the...
Anyway. It does make sense. Anyway.
I know it does. I'm so sorry. That was me being horrible.
If we're going to go with Deadwood stage, I learned about, it says Care of Wells and Fargo. And that's finance.
I have that too.
Yeah. So do you have... I'll let you speak because you don't have very much.
No. I just didn't know what... it says Care of Wells and Fargo, Illinois... Boy!
Yeah.
And I didn't know that Wells and Fargo was... Wells Fargo was among the top 5 banks in the US. So I was not aware of Wells and Fargo.
Yeah, it does also seem like they're singing about something that probably wasn't around whenever this was set, but it must have been. Maybe it's just writing Wells and Fargo because it rhymed with boy.
I have no idea.
Don't know. Anyway, she also says, like a mandolin... a plunk and a tune. So a mandolin is a stringed instrument. A bit like the one that the animal in Robin Hood plays.
Yeah.
So that's a mandolin.
They sing about snake oil for your rheumatism.
I was thinking of you in this.
Oh God, why?
You know, with all your...
my issues.
All your issues, maybe next you need.
Yeah.
Because it's a viper that was native to America, was favoured to treat skin and inflammation issues. So next time I'm in, Aaron's there next week, let him bring you back Some snake oil?
Some rattlesnake pit viper oil.
I always thought snake oil was like somebody that came and sold something that actually didn't do anything. Like a snake oil salesman was somebody who just went round from town to town, sold his wares, which was snake oil, which was meant to cure stuff, but it actually didn't do anything. But he was out of town before people realised.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was my understanding of it.
Oh, that
sounds about right, doesn't it? Yeah.
That's
I think Calamity Jane believed it though.
Many people did.
Oh, then I also learned about calico, Calico, which is a cotton cloth, which is plain white or unbleached.
There you go.
So
very good. It also then, she also sings, introducing Henry Miller, just as busy as a fizzy sarsaparilla.
Yeah.
Now that, I'll get on, that's actually a positive.
Okay, that's good.
There's a positive.
Yeah.
The way they sing certain words, it makes me chuckle and makes me go, I like that. So I didn't know what sarsaparilla was. So it was obviously a soft drink and originated from a vine of a plant. Can you look up the name of the plant? Because I've written it down, but I don't know if that's right. But apparently it was then banned by American Food and Drugs Administration because apparently it caused serious health issues like carcinogenic effects and stuff.
You can still get it now.
No, I know, but the original sarsaparilla, which was made from this vine from a plant.
My dad loves sarsaparilla.
Well, you see, I love sarsaparilla too. And we used to get like the lemonade from the lemonade man who would have delivered your lemonade and put it at the back.
The main man?
Yep. And then you'd got to wee tap, tap, tap on the back door window when it was the lemonade man looking his money. Mm-hmm. But we would have always ordered sarsaparilla from him.
Yeah.
Because it's not something you could get in the shops like when we were younger. I think you can get it now. I've walked past shelves recently and there's sarsaparilla
No,
on
you can, because I would sometimes buy it from my dad. But I remember my dad drinking sarsaparilla. We went to the original Tombstone. So Tombstone in America, where the OK Corral, isn't that right?
Oh, okay.
And I love all of that stuff. I
love and the shootout at the OK Corral.
I love all of that. Tombstone is my favourite movie ever. I love Yellowstone. I love cowboys. Remember, we had this conversation whenever we were talking about Oklahoma. I should like it, but I don't. I think it's because I like Calamity Jane more.
Well,
so there you go.
No accounting for taste.
So have we found this vine that sarsaparilla was meant to be made from?
Sassafras?
Yes, that's the one that I had.
Sassafras. Sassafras?
Yeah. So that's what the original sarsaparilla was like
made from?
The gist from that vine as such, and then later on they banned it because apparently it had carcinogenic effects.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. I also like the line where the Injun's arrows are thicker than porcupine quills.
Yeah,
I was
that's a good one.
Porcupine? What's a quill? It's just the spike of a porcupine, and I didn't know what a porcupine was, so there we go.
She mentions Adelina Pate, which is an Italian opera singer.
Oh.
So I
and Deadwood Stage? Is this still Deadwood Stage?
Yeah, and then goodness. Careless with the Truth. That song, Careless with the Truth. We've got Cherokee. No, I'm saying that wrong. And Chickasaw. They are First Nation tribes.
I knew that. The Cherokee tribe. Yeah. I didn't know that. I'm impressed.
Go you.
Because, my Native American history isn't great.
No. Then I will have it in order. You probably won't.
No.
One of my favourite songs is High Full of Honey. So, and if you're not familiar with the movie, High Full of Honey is what Francis sings when he has been forced to dress up as a woman.
Yeah.
So that the townspeople don't boo him out of the city. And he sings, I've got a high full of honey. And Caitlin and I, my sister, were introduced to this musical when we were young. And it was through our grandparents, my granny and gramps. And we laughed and laughed and laughed where he's really getting into it and he's really singing and his wig is on and then somebody playing the trumpet takes the wig off. And trombone, sorry. Same diff. And
you've watched the movie enough times to know the difference between trombone and a trumpet.
And the wig comes off on the trombone and he walks off and he doesn't realise, and that's when the townspeople get really cross. But it always used to make me laugh. So it says, I'm not the glamorous type, but I'm the amorous type. And amorous means showing feeling or relating to sexual desire. Did you know that? Mm-hmm. Oh, you did?
Yeah, sorry. I took a slurp of coffee at the wrong time there.
I love that wee song. It's so cute.
But you know what? Like, in my opinion, it's songs like that get, like, kind of got me through.
Yeah.
The kind of, like, the lighter, you know, more humorous songs. Yeah. I liked his song. I liked Francis Fryer's songs. And I liked the likes of A Woman's Touch.
Yeah.
A Woman's Touch. Because they were a wee bit more interesting, I suppose.
Okay, and I think...
But we'll get on to that, I'm sure.
You should lean into the humorous side of Calamity Jane.
100%. I mean, that's the only side there is left.
All right, then. I Can Do Without You.
Excuse
song.
you? Sorry, hold on a minute.
It's the name of a song.
Dear, we're episode 34 in. You're not getting... You can try getting rid of me. The T-shirts are already being printed. So if you're getting rid of me, I'm taking my T-shirts with me.
I'll change mine to I Can't Do Without You.
Okay.
But the song I Can Do Without You, which is sung between Calamity and Wild Bill, just to show how they don't like each other.
Yeah.
You know.
It is funny, like, how these Western musicals, so if you think of, like, you've got your Oklahoma, Love, 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 Calamity Jane, like Annie Get Your Gun, every single one has the same type of song, like this, like, battle song between the male lead and the female lead, and they're like fighting against their feelings, and they're going, I'm better than you, I'm not. So you've got Anything You Can Do, I Can Do Better from Annie Get Your Gun. You've got, what's this one called again?
I Can Do Without You.
I Can Do Without You from Here. And I suppose what's the Oklahoma equivalent? It's like...
Well, I would say the one where they're sort of sniping at each other is People Will Say We're in Love.
Yeah, which is a wee bit more melodic and a bit smoother, but you've also then got Will Parker and Ado Annie's oh God, it's come out of my head, and I was Will Parker.
I know. I don't know.
It'll come back, All or Nothing.
All or Nothing.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's funny how this, like, it's almost like in, like, a textbook somewhere, you need to have this type of song in a Western musical.
Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it?
So, anyway, that song there, it says, you're a mangy carpet bagger.
Excuse you?
I know. So, in America, this is a historical term used by Southerners to describe opportunists who were Northerners, people that were out just to exploit local.
Okay.
Do you get me?
Yeah.
So, and all they were doing was coming in, a bit like what Aaron mentioned earlier, coming in, selling something, taking local people's money, and then going away again. So, the mangy carpetbagger is a reference to these people. Mangy? Sorry.
Yeah.
Mangy.
Then they get out of Dodge.
What's that?
It's like a town. Like, get out of Dodge is an expression. Yeah, never mind.
Is it from Back to the Future?
Nope.
But that's like who Ali Hakim is in Oklahoma.
That's exactly.
He's like a mangy carpetbagger.
But we just have a mention of that person rather than actually see that character in this.
That's it.
So that's what I learned in that song. Then we've got Windy City.
I was excited. Can we move on to my favourite song?
Yeah.
It's not my favourite song.
Oh, is it not?
Oh my God, I can't stand it.
Why? What don't you like about Windy City?
Rain from the windy. Kansas City's much better.
Okay.
Just saying. They say, so this is, correct me if I'm wrong, this is when Calamity's been and come back, and she's like, this is everything I saw, a bit like Will Parker in Kansas City.
Yes.
See, there, like, it's like there's a textbook as you have to have this song and then this song and this. It's all a bit predictable, isn't it? She sings, they've got those minstrel shows.
Yep.
And again,
those
minstrel shows, pretty ladies with their big shop paws, which is my next musical lyrical lingo.
Okay.
So minstrel shows,
Yeah.
Where the type of stage entertainment featuring songs, dance, comedy, routines, stereotypically depicting African Americans, often white actors, blacking their faces, which is just insane that those things happened in history.
I know.
Like, it's just so weird.
Yeah. Very.
And so awful.
Yeah.
And then you sung the second part of that line, purdy ladies with their big shop paws.
Yep. And again, purdy. See?
But you see, this is I like how she sings some of the words.
Yes.
Like, I love purdy, and I love... You see, you're getting on to this. I'm not going to have any stand ovations now.
Then.
I'll come back to it. But purdy ladies with their big shop pose, CHAPEAUS, which means big hats.
Yes.
With a big brim.
That's right.
And I didn't know that. In fact, I thought it was shop pose.
Oh, okay.
SHOPPOSE, because obviously I don't know the lyrics to this musical because I can't stand it. Okay. But yeah, so a shop pose, CHAPEAUS, is a hat.
Yeah.
Or a cap.
So, yeah, Windy City, she has gone to Chicago, as she calls it, or Chicago, or Chicago, whatever way you say it. And she also mentions revolving doors. So for those that have listened to the podcast know that I was in Chicago recently. And that is one of the things that Dad and I noticed with the amount of revolving doors. So that led me on to, well, she's mentioning it in her song.
Yeah.
And we noticed it when we were there so many years later.
Yeah.
What is it about revolving doors in Chicago?
Can I ask, what do you mean by revolving door?
Where you walk in the door and it goes round?
So those circular things that you step in and it goes round in a circle?
Yes.
Okay. No, I'm only asking because I was going, our revolving doors, you know, like those like saloon doors that would have been like,
no, that's
you know, they would have swung open and swung back again. Well, I didn't know whether it was called a saloon door or not, or it was just the doors that were on saloons in the Wild Western bang, ship me up films.
But she's talking about the Windy City. She's not talking about saloons.
It's just as well you didn't get trapped in one of those saloon doors when you were in Chicago. Aaron, could have been you and me, buddy.
Doors? Which one are you talking about here?
I'm talking about your revolving nonsense. But carry on. I'm just going for a cuppa.
So, what is the fascination with Chicago and their revolving doors?
What is it?
It is actually crucial. So, first of all, do you know why Chicago was called the Windy City?
Is it because like it's a big wind tunnel? Is it quite?
No, it's because of their skyscrapers, and the people who created Chicago used to blow their mouths off talking about how wonderful their skyscrapers were, and that's how they got the hot air Windy City.
Oh,
that's where that came from.
But they've had skyscrapers in Western times.
Yes, it also mentions that in the songs. So revolving doors are crucial to the construction of skyscrapers because warm air rises to the top of a building and it pulls air to the top of this building. Revolving doors eliminate and allow that air to transfer. So that's why you see revolving doors in Chicago and New York where there's the most skyscrapers.
Can I just say, I admire how pleased with yourself you are. You're like going, oh my God, I've cracked this.
I'm so excited that I was like...
beyond amazed by this fact.
It's just every single shop, hotel, restaurant, whatever we went into was a revolving door. So I understand why there was why was there so many? And I had to look it up because of a musical. I just love how it's all connected. See, I love it.
I'll go back to it was a good idea, this podcast.
It was, I can never say this name right. It's either Theophilus or Theophilus.
We'll go with the first one.
Okay. Van Cannel, he invented the revolving door in 1888 because he hated chivalry. He hated that men had to hold doors open for women, so he created a revolving door where chivalry would be dead.
Oh my goodness. Well, he just sounds like the perfect person you would want to meet. Theophilus.
There we go.
What a
So let's get back to our musical.
I do think they would have looked nicer with the saloon doors, to be fair. But anyway.
Okay.
I had the lyric in Windy City just as fast as a polecat climbing a tree. And I didn't know what a polecat was until I looked it up. It's a weasel-like animal, which has dark brown fur with a black mask across the eyes and is noted for its unpleasant smell.
Oh, I didn't know that. Sometimes it's depicted as like a burglar.
A burglar?
A burglar.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what it looks like.
Yeah.
It almost looks like, like a fat weasel, right? With like a burglar's mask across its eyes.
Yeah.
That's a good description of it. Maybe that's why it was called the Windy City. Because the polecat's too busy trumping with its unpleasant smell.
Maybe.
Yo.
In the song Higher Than a Hawk, which isn't a great song, I'm going to admit.
Yep.
It's dull. And even Howard Keel, who played Wild Bill Hickok in the movie, he wrote in his autobiography how much he hated that song and he would have eliminated it.
Well, here I'm going to lay it on the line.
Okay.
That is one of the main reasons songs like that I don't like this musical. It is boring and indulgent and there's no need for it.
Yeah, there is no need for this song.
It is slow, long, drawn out. Somebody with a nice enough voice and it literally sounds like that. I can't stand songs or singers that are indulgent in their performance of a song because they're like, I know this is showing off my nice voice, so I'm going to draw it out because it's just really boring.
It's not needed. So he actually does like Katie Brown as well as the Lieutenant Danny. Like
Gil Martin
that likes Danny Brown, and nobody at this moment of the film likes Per Calamity. But he doesn't need a song to show that he likes Katie Brown. You know, their little interaction in the next scene is totally fine.
Do you think, or do you know, was like that song written because they had someone like Howard Keel in the role of Bill?
I don't know. It probably...
or was it always there and it just so happened that then Howard Keel was the person singing it?
All the songs were written, not necessarily written for Doorstay or him,
Howard,
because there were actually another two songs that were meant to be in the film, weren't included, but they're included in the stage show. So I don't know if it was just written for him, but the fact that he said he wrote that he didn't like it,
well, fair, at least he was
honest.
He was clued in enough. It's because I feel the same way about Secret Love. I think it's exactly the same. It's so slow and indulgent, and it's just boring. By verse 3, I'm asleep.
Okay, we'll get on to that.
Yeah.
We'll get on to that. So he mentions Sonny Jim, and that is a younger person. Sometimes it's like, you just head on there, Sonny Jim.
Yeah, I've heard that. Like, people have called me Sonny Jim before. Yeah. I think it's kind of a like young boy kind of thing. Like older men would call younger boys Sonny Jim. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's meant to be that. And he says, people would think I'm a Sonny Jim and say he's tetched in the head. And tetch means deranged or dysfunctional. All because he's in love with Katie.
Okay,
He's going to be acting. So that's kind of all I learned from the musical Lyrical Lingo side.
I learnt one more thing.
Okay.
Out of the Black Hills of Dakota. I learnt how very far away the Black Hills of Dakota are.
Okay.
Because my goodness, does that song take me back to the Black Hills, the Black Hills of Dakota. I've got 56 verses still to go, and here we go again. Yeah, honestly, I didn't lose my heart in the Black Hills. I literally lost my mind. And the will to live.
You're like, I don't need to go to the dance. Stop taking me.
The lyrics say, the mystic mountains are calling me back home. Those mountains were not calling me home. They were calling me to the bar. Literally, that song is horrendous.
I'll admit we always FF that bit.
I am sure you do. But when you're sitting watching the musical, you can't FF it,
No,
can you?
that is true.
You've got to sit through all 56 verses.
That is true. That is true. I mean, like I said, I have some connections to this movie.
Yeah.
I watched it with my grandparents. We would have stayed there, like quite frequently, and then it became our like video that we would have watched when we were there. Also, when we were at home and just wanted to watch a movie, Calamity Jane was put on.
Yeah.
So we loved Doorstay to begin with. We loved the music. There was dancing in it, and we found her just funny. So she dances at one point when she's talking about Windy City and coming back, and she puts salt down, and she tap dances.
Okay, so this was going back to
my
your clue in the last episode, which went over my head.
Yeah. So it's a great wee scene, and you can get all of these scenes up on YouTube. But I remember, because as maybe people don't know, but any tap scenes or anything like that would have been pre-recorded, and then the sound like superimposed in, like dubbed in. So I always loved that she was in these cowboy boots, but making this tap sound, and it was the salt that was making the sound, not realising that it wasn't. I do think on some occasions Caitlin might have got some salt and tried to reenact the scene. I don't always think that went down too well.
I could imagine Caitlin, your sister, doing that.
Yes. But
in some form of outfit as well. I'm sure she dressed up for the occasion.
I'm sure she did.
Yeah.
Find some parachutes.
I kind of feel a bit guilty now that I've poo-pooed this, when this musical has such a special place in your heart. Clearly your childhood, your early years were much more wholesome than mine, because you sat and watched Calamity Jane and I sat and watched Grease.
Yeah.
So there's where the two of us differ.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, that's definitely, we were definitely watching Calamity Jane and not Grease. I do remember trying to be Doorstay as well in a couple of those scenes. I liked it, she went from being, you think I'm a boy? I can't even do it.
I was about to say, I actually think Calamity would be a really good part for you. But as additions go, that wasn't great, Lauren.
No, that's terrible. I was so in the scene where she mistakes Katie Brown for Adelaide Adams, and Adelaide thinks that she is a boy and is trying to like hurt her, and he's, excuse me, you need to leave. She goes, you thought I was a feller? And then she's like, oh wow, I do look like a feller.
Yeah.
How did you not think you look like a feller when you're dressed exactly like Wild Bill Cock? I don't understand.
Yeah. And that's one of the things I do like about it, and I've mentioned it. Like some of the dialect, I like it. I like that she says purdy instead of pretty, feller instead of fella, window shopping.
Yeah.
Like, all of the, like, I'm like, oh, yeah, yeehaw, yeah, slap your thigh.
No.
Call me a cowboy. Yeah. But, I mean, that's me clutching at straws. I like the humour, and I like the funny songs, as I said, like A Woman's Touch and High Full of Honey. But I just think it's a bit indulgent at times, like musically. I think there's loads of really slow songs, and I think in a show setting, when you see it as a production, it's like a speed bump. It totally drags the piece down, and then anybody involved has to work their backsides off to get that momentum and the tempo back up again, and then you slow it down again with another slow song. So. There. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I would definitely take out the Higher Than a Hawk. It's not needed. Yeah. Secret Love, I like that song. I like Dorsey singing it. She, fun fact, it was that she recorded that in one take. Oh, good for her. But I think it's needed because you don't get that build up of them actually liking you. Like at no point is there any wee glimmer that they're definitely, you kind of know they're going to get together, do you know what I mean? But there's not enough of it. It kind of just happens. Yeah. And then, so I think Secret Love was inserted to make you go, oh, she does really love him. Yeah, and I know that there are people that love it and think it's one of the best musical theatre love songs out there. And I can see where they're coming from. But do you know what? Some modern musical arranger, if they could get their hands on it and maybe quicken it up a wee bit and maybe add to it a wee bit, I think it would be passable. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you can see that there's the basis of a good song. For goodness sake, it won the Academy Award, didn't it? Yeah. But speed it up, maybe change up the musical arrangement a bit more, and I would take it. I
think for you, where you maybe don't like it is because it comes straight after Black Hills of Dakota.
God, one snore fest after
so
another.
it has that. You have a little bit of dialogue, and then you have Secret Love.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, so there's nothing until the finale, which starts again with Secret Love.
Yeah.
Then he does Higher Than a Hawk. Or sorry, Katie Brown does Just Blew In from the Windy City, and then he does Higher Hawk, and then it's kind of the end.
And
there's only a wee snippet, so I can see where you're coming from. Maybe if Black Hills of Dakota was cut like in half or something, then Secret Love maybe just wouldn't feel so slow.
Yeah. And what makes me laugh is I'm having like flashbacks. Like some productions I've seen of Calamity Jane, they've like done an encore of Black Hills of Dakota at the end of the show, and I'm like, oh God, no! Once was enough. We got to the hills. We do not need to revisit the hills again. Like, why would you do that to your audience? Yeah. Anyway, so there we go.
Okay, I like it. It is. I think you should give it a go.
Rightfully so. You should like it. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna rush back to watch it.
Well, some of the songs are catchy.
It also, as you've said, hasn't had very many outings. Do you know what I mean? Like, there hasn't been a huge number of UK tours. When was the last time it was in the West End?
It hasn't been.
Do you know what I mean? So I think that speaks volumes.
Yeah.
For it as a stage show.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Which is the only time I've really experienced it. But do you know what? Some producers out there, come at it, give it a fresh approach. Like, I look at... Now, it's probably a bad example because I love the original, but take Guys and Dolls, for example. I've just seen it where it was done in a completely new, different way. Like, if a producer could do that with the Calamity, it'd be interesting to see what my feelings would be of it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like...
No, that's interesting, and I do like that it sort of sits in the Amdram world, because I do think for some leading lady, in Amdram, it's a really good part to play.
I think all the parts are good parts to get.
Yeah, Lieutenant is kind of what's he need to be there for. It's kind of the weakest part, I would say, because there's meant to be the four leads, but there's not.
Yeah. He's hard done by, is he?
I think it's just. He's just there. Yeah. He's just there for an extra character. Some more facts about the film and just about Calamity Jane. Doris Day actually inspired the Jessie character from Toy Story.
Oh, right. Very good.
Yeah. And wait till you hear this. The saloon interior, maybe the doors included, was designed by Harper Goff, who designed Disneyland, in particular Frontierland. So that probably might not mean anything to you, but for Disney lovers out there.
So you're talking about the saloon interior in the film?
Yes.
Okay. Was designed by a Disney guy?
Yeah. And then obviously you've mentioned it, we have mentioned it. I Can Do Without You is similar to Anything You Can Do from Annie Get Your Gun, and then Windy City is similar to Kansas City and Oklahoma. And you're right, there seems to be a method that you've got to follow.
You must have this if you want to have a Western musical.
And I think if... maybe it is because I love Oklahoma so...
you see, that was not a slip.
I love Calamity that I can't love two at the same time. So you love Oklahoma, which means you can't love Calamity.
Yeah. I suppose that is kind of fair. I think when it comes to Westerns, I think you'll have your favourite and the others pale in comparison. Because I'm really not taken with any of the rest of the rest of the Westerns. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can give or take Annie Get Your Gun. It doesn't offend me the way Calamity offends me. And Seven Brides for Seven Brothers is...
I like it.
It's good. Like, I like it. Like, I do like it. I love the dancing in it. And I love those like the sequences of it's not the box social, the barn dance. But like, I think you're right. You champion one,
Yes.
don't you?
Yeah. I think for me it would definitely be Calamity, Seven Brides.
Oh, you're putting them in a
Yep, I would do
Oh, wow.
Calamity, Seven Brides. I think I would have to do Oklahoma and then Annie because I don't. But maybe those two would be joint last. I know.
You're being really brave on this episode by saying that, aren't you?
Well, where are you going to put Calamity?
In the bin.
There you go. So what's your order?
My order is Oklahoma, Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. Annie, get your gun.
See?
Calamity's not
It doesn't even make
even
it.
in the run. Didn't start at the lineup.
False start.
False start.
Disqualified. You're not a real musical.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is bizarre that it hasn't been on stage more. Surely, when all the others have
I
had
think
as-
the plot is just... It's just a bit... As we said, there's some really good moments, and I think maybe it does need a real revamp, revised.
Be interesting to see what would happen with one. Yeah.
Because if they did more with the Frances, them thinking that it was a female over a male, and then they did more with Adelaide Adams' character, or sorry, Katie Brown pretending to be Adelaide Adams, it might, because the whole Woman's Touch, I know you said you quite like that song, it annoys me a little bit, that song, because it needed more than a bit of paint and a little dust here and there and a bit of flowers.
But the dust here and a dust there and
it was falling apart.
Yeah. Yeah, but at least it gave a bit of light relief from once I had a secret love that lives within the heart of me.
I'm like, it's not that slow, but
4
it
hours
actually
later,
is.
now I shouted from the highest hills.
Oh dear.
It's literally
still love it.
how I hear it.
So do you want to hear something? Well, no, not really something scary. But anyway, so we know that the musical was 1953. And I was thinking, gosh, it was the 90s whenever I was watching this. That's really bizarre. Like, that I was really interested in a movie that was made in 1953.
But you were experiencing it from a really young age.
No, this got me thinking, what would that be like today? And over the weekend, my kids watched Bugsy Malone. That is like us watching Bugsy Malone now, which was made in the 70s.
Yeah.
Isn't that like, I was like, oh no, that wouldn't happen now. No. I fell in love with a musical that was made like
So
long ago.
Yeah.
And the kids love a musical that was made so long ago. Just shows you.
Yeah. I mean, a good musical is timeless. I just wouldn't put Calamity into that. But listen, I don't think I've been as awful as
you haven't.
You were with Oklahoma.
Excuse me?
I tried.
We're
really
allowed
hard.
to have our opinions. We're not the same
Absolutely.
person, and we have differences.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm glad that's over, to be honest. That was one that was on the list for a while, and
you kept moving it.
Of course I did.
No.
I was trying to move it towards the bin, but I valued our friendship more than putting Calamity in the bin. So, and I know, like, I am a bit concerned because I think I'll get real hate.
Do you think others will be more?
Oh no, I think it's, as a musical, it's loved and adored, and I just don't get it. I just don't get it. So I know I will probably get abuse from some musical lovers out there. So apologies for that, but
It's your opinion.
Bite me.
Yeah.
So on to next week.
Yeah.
We're going to do something a wee bit different next week.
Yeah, another one of those wee fun episodes.
Yeah, we fun episodes. So I think we're going to take some of our leading parts in some of the musicals that we've looked at, and we're going to come up with our top 3 performers who have played
them.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting. We'll need to come up with a catchy name for that, because I didn't explain that very well. It sounds a bit pants. It won't be pants.
No, we're going to do our top 3.
Top 3
leading performers
for for particular parts.
No, it's really catchy.
Not just in the whole world of musical theatre, like the top 3 people.
The top 3 people. That would be very hard.
That would be, and a bit brutal as well, wouldn't it, really? Yeah. It'd have to be a bit cutthroat.
Oh, definitely.
Well, until next week, please like, subscribe, share, and shower us with compliments. I might not have showered Calamity Jane with lots of compliments, but you can shower us with plenty of compliments. And as I said, please do send in your suggestions for what musicals we might look at in the new year, so we can start planning now.
And as you know, you can find us on socials. So we're Musical Lyrical Lingo on everything. Instagram, TikTok, but you can also email us at musicallyricallingo@gmail.com.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks.
Until next week.
Bye.
Bye.